Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar. We are going to be looking at how to use video effectively for economic development. We'll look at some different kinds of video that is being produced, different options for you, different ways to integrate it, with some suggestions and tips for doing it well. Before I introduce our guest presenters for today, and we have got two of the best out there when it comes to video production for economic development, so I'm really excited to introduce them. Now, GIS planning, we've been around for 22 years. We invented the GIS data tools for economic development many of you might be familiar with, such as Zoom Prospector, Intelligence Components, our microsites, and very recently Zoom Business. However, one of the things that we have been really proud to be able to do is to allow our clients to add media to their property reports. This is something we've been doing for a long time. And we really encourage it because we have found that it is a great way to engage with site selectors and prospective investors. This is an example screenshot here from a Duke Energy site where video can easily be added and played directly from within the property report itself. So one great example of it. And that could be drone video or a virtual tour or any other kinds of video that you perhaps have. We also have the ability to add video to our live proposal generators. And these are drag and drop proposal generators where you can have your marketing pages, for example, the virtual tour page that you can see here that would go in all of your proposals, or you can pick any of them and add them to the proposals that you wish. And that video can go directly in there. That can be a value proposition video about your region or about your organization. And then at the same time, you can add videos into the property cards within the proposal itself. And this is a live proposal that can be shared online. So the videos can be viewed directly within it. And it really is, it's pretty exciting. So we felt that with the ability to support video within our tools, we wanted to introduce our clients, our friends, our colleagues within the industry to two of the best producers out there of video for economic development who can speak to how to do this well. And so I'm going to begin today with our first guest here, which is Brian Aiken from Neon Cloud Productions. He's the founder of Neon Cloud. They have been making videos for economic development organizations for the last 7 years. That is their what they specialize in. Brian, very happy to have you here with us today.
Thank you. We've been doing this a long time. This is all we do. And I'm very excited to be here because economic development excites us. And it's what we focus on. And what we're really big on, Alyssa, first of all, it says here, that we focus on the necessary facts to win deals. If you leave with anything today, just keep that in mind. Understand that videos are different than written content. You need to know that the eyes are going to see so much, and that the necessary facts is what you really need to focus on when you're showing a video to a prospect. And really, the job is to get them excited, to get them in front of you. But to show you real quickly, and some of the talking points, it's easiest probably to quickly show you a little video of one of the videos we've created to help you understand, what I'll be talking about here in a second. So I'll share that. It's less than a minute and around a minute, and it's of a business park to show off the details of a particular site at a business park. And while this happens, I don't believe there's music or you can't hear me, so I'll just let you watch this. fantastic. Let me get this back on the screen here. All right, that's not what we want to see. Cool, fantastic. Well, in that, I have all my details here, but I made sure to make them confusing enough so you'd have to listen to me explain them. Show the details, they get the results. One of the things we see a lot of is a lot of overselling, telling more than we need to tell them to get them excited. We help our clients, and you can help yourselves when you think of this. You need to draw that line to in between what facts are best told over the phone or in person, or via email and other kind of marketing assets that you have, and what facts are best told in a video. I'm not 100% certain I could hear the sound, but if you could not, the neat thing about these types of videos is you don't need sound to be able to understand it. And those are the best kind of videos, is if you could really understand what's going on without audio at all. We call that the janitor role in our office. A janitor should be able to come in your office, see your video playing, and understand what it's saying. Controlling what we see, we're very big on visually controlling their eyes and where they go. And we do that a lot, not only how we're facing the camera, because all that is thought out and strategic, but also those graphics. Even though there was a lot of things going on, for example, when you're in that warehouse, your eyes are going to where the graphics are taking you, and control visually what they're seeing by using graphics or other things. Really, graphics is the best way to do that. And again, just give them the right information, because a lot of us can fall easily guilty to maybe giving them the too much information. And once you have too much on the screen, you just can't read it. This particular video, I wanted to show this on purpose, because this is actually a 5-year-old video, I believe, at least. And the neat thing is, if you make the right kind of video, they can hold time, because a lot of our clients are always asking how long will they be good for. If you create a video with graphics, you can always update the graphical information. And here, using these graphics to emphasize the facts, facts that may not be visual, like of the future, is really key. And showing them things like, for example, future build outs, helping people actually see that, because even though it's in your mind, you have to remember it's not in their mind. As well as you could explain it, showing them visually is really going to be a huge help. I have another video. This next video is quite a bit different. It's going to line up Aaron very well for what he's going to show you. But what this is it's a virtual experience. But what we created, and there's a longer version of this, it's just a snippet of it. Our client wanted us to create a virtual experience to show people what it was going to look like, how it was going to be there with their conference center they were putting in. And so instead of just making a regular video, there's a whole storyboard where we're having somebody throw in some goggles, they get sucked into this other world, and it actually takes you and shows you virtually where it is, as if you're experiencing it. So let me show that to you real quick and explain a little further on that, and go from there. Give me 1 second.
Escape 2. Marble Falls. Nadia? Yes?
Yes? Hey, Daddy.
What are you guys doing here?
We're playing. Yeah.
Good catch.
Say thank you, Daddy. Thank you, Daddy. Come on, for Daddy.
Hey girls, Daddy's gotta go, but can you give me a kissy? I'll be back soon.
Okay.
All right. Fantastic. So, something we want to encourage people always is be willing to be different. The main thing, you got to be remembered. You cannot be forgotten. That was very, very, very different. And so you ask yourself, is this video going to stand out? Whether it's with your graphics or a new idea, doing something different than others are doing. In this video, we created an experience and not a video. And the big thing that will change when you create an experience is it's very shareable, likable, and again, memorable. Future promises. So a lot of people don't know, but all of that stuff that you can see animating on was fake. Of course, we made it look, as realistic as it was needed for this video. But the one thing a lot of people don't know is that beach is actually also fake. That beach is not there. It does not exist. But it was just combining and compositing and creating a beach to help people see what that would be like there and get future prospective people excited about what the future is going to hold, because we see a lot of promises, and after a while, sometimes they can seem like empty promises. So we really enjoy showing things that we're talking about, whether we're just putting in roads or showing pipelines somehow creatively being put into the scene. We think it's very important to show these things happening, and it feels more reachable. Showing what matters is just sticking to those details that, in this case, for this video, it might not be relative for you, it might not be your story, but what is your story? What is relative to the people that you're communicating with? The biggest struggles you have when communicating with people, and that's what you really need to focus on when making a video. Let me see. Oops. All right, well, that is my time. I thought I was going to visually be able to show my face for a second, but I cannot figure it out for the life of me.
Good, don't worry, that's great. I'm gonna get you at the end, don't worry. Okay. Thank you so much, Brian. I appreciate that. Some really impressive, engaging stuff. If you don't follow Brian and Neon Cloud on LinkedIn, you're going to want to do that. I actually look forward to videos that they're posting on there. Some really clever stuff. Our next presenter is Aaron Bourgeois from Golden Shovel Agency. We have worked with Aaron in a number of different ways at GIS Planning for quite a few years now, I think, at this point. Golden Shovel is a marketing agency that does many different things, builds websites, in addition to doing some really interesting videos. So I'm going to make you the presenter, Aaron, as I read a couple lines of introduction about you. Aaron is CEO and founder at Golden Shovel Agency, a firm specializing in communications for economic development. He has led the creation of communication tools and services, currently supporting over 180 different EDOs across North America. Aaron's core competencies include web development, marketing strategy, branding, and communications, and he is a sought-after presenter and thought leader at industry conferences with a focus on new trends in business and workforce attraction. Aaron and the Golden Shovel team pioneered the first virtual reality tools for the economic development industry and unveiled them at the 2017 IEDC annual conference in Toronto. I remember that well. It was some pretty impressive stuff. Aaron, welcome. Thank you very much for being here.
Hey, thanks so much for having me, Elisa. And I'm going to go through a couple slides. I'll come back onto a video after we get through them here. So let me try to show my screen. How am I doing, Elisa? It doesn't look like I'm pulling anything up yet. See that?
There you go. Now I see your slides. There we are.
All right, real good. Well, thanks for having me here. Nice presenting with you, Brian. Neon Cloud does such excellent work on their videos, and I really like the creativity that they've put into some of the different graphics and the tours that they've done. Those types of videos are so incredibly useful right now as content, all across the board, whether it's on social media, websites, etc. Golden Shovel and Place VR has been focusing on a different type of video that we're going to talk about today, and that's using a virtual reality goggles. And so instead of having a standard video that you might play on a classic screen, we've been making spherical videos. And spherical videos is like sitting inside of a bubble where you can look up, look down, look left, look right, and everywhere you look, you're in a video. And the magic of that type of video is that it tricks your brain into feeling like you're visiting. Right now, there's the trick that happens makes it you can take in up to 75% more information because your brain doesn't realize it's no longer in the office, or it doesn't realize when you're traveling somewhere new and you don't know what the threats are or the weaknesses are, and your brain literally takes in, opens receptors and takes in more information. So that's what's so exciting about this technology, especially for economic developers whose job is to sell places. And so we can give people who can't be there in real life an opportunity to visit. So the types of tours we've been working on, a lot of FAM tours. We've worked with over a dozen site consultancies now about the types of things they like to see on FAM tours. We've done site tours, a whole variety of site tours, including some visualization pieces, and I'll show that to you. Workforce attraction has been pretty popular, as well as tourism, as you might imagine. I think right now would be a good time for me to show you a little example of this. So here in this video, you can see give you an idea of what it's like to be in a sphere. You can look left, you can look right, you can look up and down. The goggles are on just on your head, and these Oculus Go goggles are pretty small and lightweight. We've been experimenting with drones to be able to show off new construction, but we've also been able to take greenfield and brownfield sites and put on the entire vision for the developer right onto it. So you get this feeling of standing on a piece of grass and suddenly the building pops out of nowhere. It's a very trippy feeling when you're standing there and suddenly pavement appears underneath your feet. But this is really exciting because it combines the 3D buildings and the augmented reality touch to it with that same feeling of actually standing there using the spherical vision. Oftentimes we're making our tours in areas that have different seasons, and so we're able to go back a second time and capture that season. So we can go straight from summer to winter. This is over by my neck of the woods. Or sometimes we'll come back, we might shoot a FAM tour, but then come back during a large event for some of the things that really make communities special and capture those too. So like Brian had mentioned, a video can have a pretty good shelf life. You can keep adding to it, you can update it. You don't have to always start from scratch. And that certainly is the case with the familiarization tours, or site tours, especially as sites change or get sold, et cetera, et cetera. So one of the things that we've been working on is making a virtual meeting app. And what you're seeing right here is two economic developers, and what we've made is a virtual conference room that we can put into the middle of anybody's community. So here's a conference table. This happens to be in Northeast Kentucky, and I'm talking to them in 3D sound. So it feels like they're sitting there right next to me. You can feel like the lady on the right goes right inside my right ear. Here I am bringing those people into a video. This is York, Nebraska, and we're showing this engineering site that Olson had created. We dropped it right on a 34-acre industrial park, and they're experiencing right now what it's like to be there if it exists. We can even add animations of the trains and trees. Another example of this is one of the first meetings we ever did with, over on the left is Monty Turner. He kind of looks like that 50s cop. And on the right is Tom Lambrecht and Brian Hansen from Apex and Great River Energy. And they're showing off some major employers, what some of the neighborhoods are like, and going on to show what the hospitals are like, the schools are like, and the types of businesses that are a great fit for the region. Go back to my main screen. So how they're using the videos so far is they've been taking and putting them onto the website. You can put them on your tablets and phones and just like looking through a little window. But usually they're putting them on the headsets and they're bringing them to conferences. Here's an example on the right. We can brand these headsets. This is for York County, Nebraska. And showing it to a site consultant on site, or being able to send them a set of goggles and having the virtual meetings. Another example of that building popping out of the ground. This isn't specifically video, but it's definitely where we're going with the VR. And this is another type of technology called Matterport, which like a spherical video. It takes spherical photos, but at the same time as going through and shooting an existing facility, it actually makes it into a full 3D model that then you can walk through using the VR goggles or through websites, and you can tie information and data to them. This is been around for a little while with residential real estate, but it's going to be a big deal for economic developers with existing facilities, and it ties really nicely in with the FAM tours with the Matterport technology. Here's an example of that 3D dollhouse model, and when you have the VR goggles on, you can walk through it. So you can literally click every like 8-10 feet, anywhere you could walk inside a facility, somebody could go in there and check it out. And then talking about the VR meetings, not only can we use it with inside the headsets where people can get together and have up to 4 people having an intimate meeting and going on a tour, but we can also share this, share whatever is being cast inside the VR headset onto Zoom. So you can expand your VR experience to a Zoom audience that could be watching in and add questions and see what the VR experiences. So it makes the VR a way to really add to presentations and bring your virtual tour, give it more reach to people that might not have headsets. For the groups that don't have them, what we've been doing is sending, like our clients have them, they'll send them out. Otherwise, we have a fleet of headsets that we send to the people they want to meet with. And then some of the things that are coming up, I know that those avatars look kind of animated right there. It's very realistic. It's synced to the headset. So like you nod, for example, your avatar nods, or you can see where the people are looking. But this is changing really fast. And just less than a year ago, the Oculus Quest was released. This is a two-handed system where you can walk through a space, and that's allowed for some different types of technologies. One of the ones we've been playing with most recently is spatial, and what these guys have, it literally takes a photo of you and makes your avatar look pretty realistic. Here's me inside a VR spatial room. My avatar is down below, and there's a video of me up on top looking down to see. So these are going to get very real, very quick, and it feels just like you're standing there working with somebody. And so the ultimate idea here is we're going to save a lot of time and money, not having to travel as much, have money so we don't have to fly everybody around. Certainly it's going to be valuable. And then the planet, just cutting down on air travel is going to be a huge deal. So it's been massive interest in virtual reality since COVID had begun, for all the appropriate reasons. So I'll stop here, Elisa, and let me pass it back over to you. Oh, one last thing.
Yes, go ahead.
We did one of the things that's been really interesting on the VR is that the rural communities have been the early adopters of it. I kind of thought at first it was going to be the New Yorks or the San Franciscos, but it's the groups that have the toughest time getting people to come visit. And we put together 5 case studies of some of the rural groups that have done different types of videos, talked about what their experience was like making these inside their communities and how they've been using them. We've had some using them internationally, some have been focusing only on sites, some have been working on workforce attraction. So feel free to go download this ebook and read about what some of the experiences are from the other groups. So thank you.
That's great, Aaron. Thank you very much. I'm going to include the link to that and to the websites for our panelists here as well. Oops, I think I have just turned that off. Let me put that back on. Yeah, some really interesting stuff, very different kinds of things, different ways of thinking about video. I want to encourage any of our attendees to put some questions into the questions field on the right-hand side of your screen. We're happy to pose those to our panelists. Tell me, and this is a question for both of you, Brian and Aaron, as someone comes to you and they're interested in doing video, they say, we need to do something, marketing, outreach, engage site selectors, where do they start? How do we start kind of vetting them, helping them understand, do some sort of needs analysis in terms of video for what they're looking for? What are some of the questions that you would have them ask themselves? Oh, let me just. Go ahead, Brian. There, Brian.
Yeah, we have a series of questions. I mean, we have a 5-step strategic plan that takes them through this. But the first thing is you have to ask yourself, what do you want to accomplish? What do you want people to feel with this video? when they leave, you know, what do you want them to think of your community? You know, jokingly, I always say, if you could tie a prospect down and force them to listen to what you had to say, what would be the shortest list of things you can put, you know, and have them watch or learn about your community in you know, a short amount of time? And the first thing is always putting pencil to paper and just start writing, and usually it comes through. And if you're using a good partner, whether it's one of us or somebody else, they should be able to help you with the rest of creating that visual story to talk about your community.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Aaron, do you have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I completely support that. I mean, it's about the story you're trying to tell. And what Brian just mentioned, that what is the feeling that it leaves you with is what's really important. For us, because of the nature of the type of videos that we're doing, we focus a lot on what are the key things you'd bring somebody on a familiarization tour. So if you were to design a familiarization tour to fly in some site consultants, that's what we're recreating. But a couple of nice things is on video, it's always sunny. Your community always looks beautiful. And one thing we noted is that even if you do bring site consultants in, let's say you bring them in for 2 days, you might, if you're a regional group, you might not have time to get to 10 sites or to get to 3 different communities that might have a half-hour drive time between, or the weather might be really bad. And so having this type of technology to even during an actual FAM tour can be valuable.
Excellent. Okay. One of the things that I was thinking of was a video, Brian, that you posted recently that I have to say I found hilarious. It really made me laugh, but it also made me think, which is this idea of who cares, that anytime you want to show something in a video, that you ask yourself that hard question, like, really, who cares? Is this important enough to be video worthy, as it would?
Yeah, it's sometimes hard, even when we're making our own videos, or if my daughter is making a YouTube video, you gotta ask yourself, like, who cares? You know, who's watching this? And a lot of times it's a lot of things that, like, we care about, but how much does the prospect care? And do they need to know it? So it's we actually say that on the call. That wasn't just a video. So we actually asked the client, you know, who cares, and help them with that test. But that's a huge help, I think, in refining the details and really minimizing the video to get straight to the points that matter.
Straight to the point that matter, exactly. I think it's all about objective. So for every sentence that you put in a blog post or a video or a social media post, every word on Twitter, who cares? Like, what is the point of that word, of that phrase, of that shot that you're actually going to be showing? So I thought that was very good. Suzanne asks, how, on average, what does a typical video cost, and how long do they typically take to produce? That might be a how long is a piece of string question, because I suppose good question.
Yeah, so I'll answer that, because this is like one of my favorite questions. I actually made a funny video about this as well, like, because it's like us calling an economic developer and be like, how much does that land cost? They're like, well, what land? You know, the 50-acre plot or the 100-acre plot? Like, I don't know how much the land costs. So it's hard to answer. On average, I would say, so when a client works with us, we're trying to give them the most bang for their buck as possible. So an average video might cost X, but we're always trying to get them X, Y, and Z, because it's really affordable to add on, like, social media. Because it's not about what you're doing today, it's what you're about doing today, but also, are we giving you enough content to continue for the next year? And if we're not, shame on us, because one video is not going to be a home run. It's going to be a tool you can utilize, like Aaron's video is showing, or our videos you can talk through, where you're going to use it on calls, and it's going to last you a long time. But how do you stay in front of people and always be present on social media? And they're not going to know if it was filmed a year ago or not. It's just that you're having good quality content to put out there, and that's the most challenging thing about social media. So our average videos, they can range. I mean, we have some videos that cost a lot less, but I'd say an average video with those animated maps, and what you've seen today was not average. That's like a below average video. They're costing less, but an average video would be in the 15-ish range. But we have clients do videos with us regularly down to 6,000, and then clients that want to spend a lot more. And what really matters, we never ask the question, what is your budget? Because we really don't care. I mean, we care, but my point is that we really want to know how we can help you, and then we apply, what we think can help in your situation to what you're speaking to, and then we raise the budget question, like, does it still fit in your budget? Then how can we pare back, or did you want to add on? So it's more importantly like what is going to help you further along your communication with your prospects and get you success.
Thank you. Okay, Aaron, what about you? I mean, I imagine this is a question that you probably get quite a bit.
Yep. Well, I can jump on Brian's statement. I mean, there's so many variables. There's one thing to make a video. There's nothing to drop a lot of 3D modeling on top of that. That happens to be aligned to an engineering firm, and the cost can vary. For us, and I think Brian would support this too. If you get high quality footage early on, the costs change depending on the types and numbers of videos that you're making, because we could go in there and shoot one video. So we're going to do a fam tour for a community. We're going to take 30 shots. It's going to be 30 different locations. The video is going to end up being, in most cases, 6-7 minutes long because it's a full tour, right? But from there, once that's shot, to make a second video, let's say you're going to do a workforce attraction video. Well, 3/4 of the footage you shoot for a fam tour is going to get reused on a workforce attraction tour, or 3/4 of that footage is going to get reused on a site tour after you get beyond the site and you're showing what the community is like, because it's all related. They're going to be like, where are you going to live? What are you going to be doing?
Right.
Showing all those aspects. So there is a lot of economy of scale when it comes to doing multiple videos. For us, our VR videos start at 20,000. I'd say for an average fam tour, but those go down once we put together 2 or 3 into a package. Something like the Matterport technology, where we're going through and making a 360 or 3D model of a facility, those are more like $2,000 or less, including plus travel. So that's a little different technology. It doesn't require the scripting. It's not technically video. And also with us, for us to shoot a video, it takes us about 3 to 4 days to shoot, but our overall production time, on average, up to 6 weeks. We've done them, and we can do them less if we have to do a rush. But we like to write the script before we even go out there. We know the places we're going to go. It's pretty tight, and then we can send everything back to the editors and 3D modeling guys. So.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I guess what I'm hearing from both of you is that the one video isn't really what the ideal way to focus on this. That you can use that material for other kinds of things and it'd be part of a larger project. I recognize we've gone a little bit over time here, but I have another really great question here. And the question is, what is the ideal video length? And I guess the question is, what are you using it for? I guess maybe social is a way that people often think about this. What do you think is the ideal video length for using on social media?
Yeah, on social, I think it really depends on what you're saying as well. We have several different types, and our answers are going to be completely different, which is good. So on social, we come out with videos sometimes that might be educational, so they're longer. But in terms for economic developers, the longest video we ever make for economic developers in the 2-ish minute range. If we hit 3 minutes, we probably should have made more than one video. It really should be several topics, because our videos are quite different than Aaron's. They're going to be a lot faster moving. You're looking around observing, but we're going to tell you'll hit overload, and our goal is always to keep them engaged on the video as long as possible. But the truth is about the videos is you have to be very cautious. Like, for example, if I watch a video with a client, I already have your video memorized. I'm not watching your video, I'm watching your face, or I'm watching others' faces when they're watching my video. And you can see when they start tuning out, like, I've had enough. Okay, I get it. And as long as you're adding additional value in the video, additional information, knowledge, you can really make it a bit longer. Social media, traditionally, we make a lot of 15-seconders. Those are very successful because they're going to see what you want them to see no matter what. They might not, if you put your large video on there, they might not make it to that 2 minutes and 12 seconds where you need to see that key business part. We're very big on, again, breaking down our videos into small little snippets where it's one clip repeating in a very, very cool way to grab their attention. And the crazy thing that kind of damaged my ego sometimes is we'll make this amazing video, then the short ones do better on social media because that's people need quick and easy. And we have a lot of 30-seconders and then minute or topic specific is what we call it, where we focus just on one topic. It might just be purely workforce. And usually, again, that's from breaking down your main video if you have several different focuses. Did that answer the question?
It did. Yeah, thank
Okay.
you.
I blacked out. I don't remember most of what I said. So hopefully that makes sense.
Aaron, what about you? I know it's a very different kind of thing, immersive video, VR video, Matterport, which I haven't seen. That's really cool. Length.
Yeah, for sure. I support what Brian's saying completely when it comes to social media and that type of piece. The videos we're using are being used differently because they're actually being in a tour, so to say. But on average, based on what we've learned from site consultants, the site tours themselves tend to be 3 to 4 minutes. They're about half the size of a FAM tour. Our FAM tours tend to be 7 to 8 minutes. One of the reasons why they're a little bit longer is because with VR, you can't do like in Brian's videos, you got these really cool effects that tie in with the music and you can feel the energy of that movement, but you can't do that the same in VR because it disorients the viewer. So you can't have a bunch of jumps from shot to shot because you're like it literally gives you physical anxiety. You need to have enough time in each shot to be able to look around at least, otherwise you feel like you're missing something. Like, wait, I didn't get a chance to see what was over there, and now the screen changed. And so that's one difference, I think, in the spherical video. The other thing is when it comes to like actually giving a tour, that the economic developers themselves use the video as if they were on a tour and they're adding in their own commentary. So yeah, we do voiceovers. You can have that voiceover play, but then they're going to pause the video and talk a little bit with the people they're meeting with inside the video about that specific scene to make it relevant to that consultant or prospect. So, but yep, anywhere from 3 to 8 minutes, depending on the type of video. And
yeah. Two things to keep in mind, and then just one more thing I was thinking of to add on to that is you got to make it, whatever the topic is, if it's a video, these videos, you have to make it as short as it possibly can be for Aaron's videos for them to look around. Our videos, you got to make it as short as possible for them to understand the content and don't repeat yourself. You don't only need to show so many angles of dirt, of the same piece of dirt, at least. What you need to do is get them to call you. And then the other thing is like you can't, sometimes shots that are made too quick, because it's very hard sometimes for us to get outside of ourselves and remind ourselves that your prospect, you're extremely familiar with your community, and maybe you're showing a new road that was put in, and it might be too flashy or too quick, and you get it because you know what you're looking at, but they won't get it. So sometimes I also see clients wanting to focus on something too short of a time when others won't understand what they're even seeing, but you see it because it's your community. So that's just something another point I thought of.
Great, lots of things to think about. I am aware that we've gone a little bit over time. I think that's okay. This was really great stuff. I just want to give you guys each a chance if there's anything you'd like to say as we close out here, with just noting to everyone that you will have the contact information for both Neon Cloud and Golden Shovel, links to their websites and email addresses for our presenters. Any parting thoughts for us about using video effectively for economic development?
The only thing I could think of is not necessarily, I mean, I guess it is this. We as a company, and I'm an entrepreneur, so they've been hit hard, and we haven't. And it all comes to like right now is the time sometimes when people get scared and they pull back. And again, whether it's us, Aaron, or somebody else, I don't care, but I would just encourage you. I think that now is the time to get aggressive. Now is the time to really shine, because when others are pulling back, if you're shining, you're going to really stand out. And it's been really tremendous for us to be bold and be brave and just put out probably 10 times as much content as we usually do. But whether it's you're hiring us or you're going out there and you're taking pictures, your business park, your community, some sort of workforce shot on your phone, I just encourage you to get as aggressive as you can, because you will stand out in the crowd right now when the rest of the world is being fearful. That's really the only thought that comes to mind right now.
Great advice.
Yeah, thanks. I totally agree on that too, Brian. It's well said. And for us, one thing that's really exciting right now, kind of down in that same spirit, is there due to the constraints of all of our staying at home and working from home and doing these months now of changing our work behavior, there's so much innovation and invention happening. It's just poured a lot of jet fire, like jet fuel on the fire, so to say. It's like when you think about the ability to work from home has been around for so long, and yet there was no good reason to pull the trigger on that. But suddenly, when everyone's working from home, look, all that technology just immediately became commonplace, and now half the people are going back to the office, and the other half are going to work from home. This kind of thing forced that, and that's certainly what's happening with the virtual reality technology at the same time. It's getting innovated out of just sheer demand. It's going to be tricky over the next couple of years, especially when you're attracting foreign direct investment, especially when we're going after not being able to travel as much. I mean, those communities are trying so hard to get people to come visit because no one's moving a business or their family unless they can get there. And this technology is proving to be the second best way to do it if you can't do it physically. So really exciting to see, and we're going to keep our fingers on the pulse. Thanks again, Elisa.
Fantastic. This was really great. Honestly, it's a pleasure to speak with both of you. You guys are both doing incredibly creative work, and I think the work you're doing actually is helping to shift what economic developers see as possible for them, especially with this new reality. But these are good moves no matter what. Even if we were to go back to normal tomorrow, to be able to have these options is really important. So thank you both very much for your time and for sharing your video. Thanks to all of you for taking time out of your busy days and for the work you're doing for your communities. You will hear from me by tomorrow with a follow-up email with a link to this video and to the contact information for our guest today. Stay safe, everyone. Be well, and look forward to seeing you again. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.